Welcome to the next chapter.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next chapter. It's the second episode in our amazing series. It's a place where some people get together and talk about all things AI in media, culture, and entertainment. First of all, want to thank everyone for the really great feedback that we received on the first episode. We are super happy to see that we're bringing some value to someone in what we do and to be on this journey with everyone. And yeah, let's jump straight in. For today, it's going to be something that's really near and dear to my heart, and the topic is going to be storytelling. More specifically, AI in storytelling. And as well, we're going to talk about the White Mirror project, which is the first AI feature film that is produced by Chapter in collaboration with the Culture DAO. So yeah, stick around because we're going to deep dive into all of these together. And I could not have two better people to talk about all of these things than the ones that I have as guests today. We have Mario, the creative director here at Chapter, and Ed Saatchi from the Culture DAO, founder of the Culture DAO, as well as Fable Studio, and a lot of other great things. But I don't want to spoil everything, and I'd love to hear more about your experiences as you introduce yourselves. And Ed, I'd love to start with you and to hear a bit about your background, the stuff that you've been working on, and to hear about how you arrived to AI, and if you'd like to share what was the first thing that you created using AI or playing around with AI tools.
I'm Edwin. I'm from the UK. I came to the US in 2007 to join the Obama campaign and created social and data tech for the campaign, created a startup around that after we won, and started working with the NHS and Kaiser Permanente and campaigns and nonprofits, and the re-election and the different campaigns in 2012. And then we were acquired by the main big data provider in the space, NGP Van, and I, felt that that was the only person I cared about was Senator and then President Obama, and I was obsessed with the idea of virtual reality and virtual reality movies and games, and so I moved to San Francisco. Found two friends from Pixar, created Story Studio. That was then turned into Oculus Story Studio, which in the company Oculus, and we created different VR movies and interactive experiences, won 2 Primetime Emmys, and tried to push forward the question of what comes after cinema and even what comes after games as we understand them today. And probably the first moment that I became excited about AI was in maybe 2016, 2017, when we saw that people were talking to our main character, Lucy. And they expected Lucy to talk back to understand because she was very convincing. And so we started to look at natural language processing and how to bring virtual beings to life. And that journey has led me to be CEO of and co-founder of Fable Simulation, but also, working on this amazing AI movie, White Mirror. And yeah, I'm super excited about where this all ends up and the new medium of AI games like the simulation and AI movies.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. And yeah, I've also had the chance to look a bit into what you were doing as well. I already feel like I know you from White Mirror and all the amazing stuff that you do. And I love this proposition of Fable Studio of merging creativity with AI technology, which is exactly what we're doing here with the project and what we're talking about today. And yeah, thank you. And Mario, I want to hear from you as well, because you also had quite the journey before you became the creative director here.
Hi, Dana. Yeah, thanks for having me. Well, let me start in the very beginning. I was a musician for half my life. As a teenager, I toured with a band, and then I wanted to be. I want to become a rock star, basically, and it didn't work out. But I stumbled
That
in.
hey, still not late.
It's still not too late.
There's still time.
I found something I always wanted to, even as a child, I always wanted to direct movies, I guess. But at that point, I didn't quite dare to apply to film school. And when I was finished with school, I stumbled into something that caught my interest I stumbled into industrial design, and I started studying industrial design, and had a lot of fun with that. Later, did my master's in communications design, and experimented a bit with all sorts of media. And when I was done studying, I remembered that I always wanted to make movies in the first place, and I kind of never forgot this. And I luckily had some friends who back then were already like doing commercial films, doing music videos, and I asked one of those friends if I could help in any way, and he said, "Yeah, actually, like I need to pitch this music video treatment. Do you want to come in this afternoon and write something with me?" And I did, and we shot the music video, and from that on, I started a music video production company, basically, in Berlin with a couple of friends, and we did that for a couple of years. The company still exists. I produced, basically. I produced, and then I went on from producing music videos. I went into commercials, did that for a couple of years, also freelance. But I never I always remembered I wanted to direct, and then I somehow sneaked my way into music videos and started directing them, and and did this. And
Do you mean you sneaked in like? Sorry, but I'm curious. Do you mean you sneaked in like you just jumped on people's sets, or
no.
was it through networking? How did that work?
Well, there was this point, like the production company we built was sort of successful when it comes to music videos, and it was like the in at that time in Germany the go-to music video production company you would go to if you have like a music video budget and you wanted us to do it. And at that point it didn't really matter who did the videos. It was just like, can you guys do a music video, and we don't care who the director is. And so when opportunity came, I took it, and I finally started making films, making music videos. And so I did that for numerous artists, numerous German artists, but also like international artists like David Guetta and Robin Schulz, and like British James Arthur, some people might know from the UK. And I did that, and from that on I started. I think that's just like a common way for commercial directors. I started commercial directing, did campaigns for I don't know, a BMW, Adidas, Audi, Volkswagen, like a couple of car brands, but Red Bull, like everything basically. And I don't know, I reached a point like a year ago where I was just like I was thinking to myself, I want to do something else. There's got to be something else. And I was like reading a lot about AI and playing around a bit with like tools like Midjourney, and digging in. And then these guys approached me from Chapter and offered me coming in as their creative director, because they had the feeling I could somewhat translate abstract ideas into human emotion and storytelling. And that's what I do now, and I love it. And that's what we do also with White Mirror. We're bringing something that is sometimes abstract and complicated and nerdy, and we're trying to bring it like trying to open this field and bring people in, bring artists in, filmmakers, and create a beautiful community that will create art and short films and audiovisual experiences that eventually will become one amazing AI movie. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's going to tell an amazing story. And thank you so much for this. I also highly recommend everyone listening to go and check out the trailer for White Mirror and the work that's already been happening, because it's absolutely amazing. You'll get to see all the things that we're now talking about in action firsthand. It's clear already from your introductions, you guys know how to build experiences and to create worlds, right? After all, this is kind of what we try to do in every shape or form. And I'd say, let's dive into storytelling by starting a little bit with the basics, I think, to set the scene and help people also understand, where this technology would come in. But storytelling, it's something that has been around since before even language was a thing. It was visual. It was there since the beginning. Then it started to take the shape of spoken word, and then writing, and then again going into this visual aspect with photography and filmmaking, which also now with technology has been so powered already. So we can clearly see and feel the evolution. But going back a step or 1,000, what is storytelling about, and what is it that makes it so great? And Ed, I'd like to start with you, and then hear from Mario as well.
Well, I think the ability to put ourselves in the shoes of another person, the protagonist in most cases, in a darkened room in the cinema. I think that's just an incredible gift for the last sort of 4 or 5 generations, and going back to theatre. People have called cinema an empathy machine, and I think that's completely right, that we get to see how each other live and how each other think, and we get to communicate those things either literally or metaphorically as artists as well. So it's the dream.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mario, what do you feel when it comes to what storytelling is really about?
Yeah, I really like what Ed just said about empathy. And I really think storytelling is life, basically, as cheesy as it sounds. Like, everyone wants to write their story, right? And we live for those stories. Like, everything we do is a story. Like, people creating their company, people starting their families, people believing in something. That's all like telling a great story, or at least wanting to be able to tell the story of their lives. And that's what's so fascinating. And that's so fascinating about changing those perspectives, as I just said. Like, this is the most amazing thing, that you are able to change these perspectives all the time and dive into a world that is not your own. But you can see it, you can feel it, and you can get a sense of it. And that to me is absolute magic. And it's life, basically. Storytelling is life.
I love that. I'm gonna quote you both on this, because it summarizes it so beautifully. And the way that I feel it as well, it's all about emotion that you want to feel, that you want others to feel. This power of narrative to pull you away from the world of logic and truth, and allowing you to start to imagine everything that's possible. So it's this one thing that we still have as humans, and we'll always have, about creating and imagining all these different narratives that technically a machine cannot. But now I want to bring, of course, the elephant in the room, which is about technology, or AI technology, right? Which is it's been, at least as far as I know, and here correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems that AI technology, especially in this creative fields, movie making or any sorts of storytelling, is being so much more talked about and scrutinized than all the other kinds of technologies that have been used, for the past time in these areas. And I want to get your thoughts on this as well, on why is now AI is seen as such a much bigger disruption than all the technologies that came before, and also to get your take on how things actually are, like where AI does come in. And Ed, would love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, my hope is that that we're able to make filmmaking a little more like writing, where one novelist can take us on an incredible journey without a $10 million budget and having to work with 100 people. And I think that's feasible with AI. And I think when you do that, you bring into the bloodstream more voices, stranger voices, and the art form is able to progress because we've got these new and fresh ideas. So that's my hope. And then in terms of virtual beings and AI people in the simulation, I also think getting to actually connect with AIs who have real lives. That's our sort of idea in the simulation, is that the AI should have a real life, a daily life. I think that'll increase our sort of sense that AI is not out to get us, that AIs might one day be, another intelligent species alongside us. So I'm excited on both fronts.
That I'm very happy to hear these positive notes. Of course, all of us here share the feeling. I just also see that now, of course, there are strong people, let's say, in the cinematic community, in the creative community as well, that say that, okay, this is actually not good for us, or this is going to be, something like we already know all the classic narratives around, where are the humans going, and all these kind of things. And Mario as well, how do you think AI will actually play a role in the storytelling process and in the in filmmaking? Where are the opportunities, and where are also these risks? Like, is there something that's going to really be disrupted and we should watch out for?
Well, that's a big question. I think what people are scared of, and what makes them somewhat uncomfortable, but what is also super exciting at the same time, is that what the AI does feels unpredictable in a way. Like, we're so used to, we're like working with something, we're working with a tool, and it does exactly what we asked it to do. When you now create something with the AI, or you, for example, prompt an image in Midjourney, for example, something hits you back that you didn't expect. There's this level of unpredictable, almost emotional creativity that comes back to you. And that's something we're not used to see and not used to experience. So this is something where all artists are like, what the hell is going on? Like, is this real? Like, and what does this mean? Like, does this take away my reason to be here? It's like people tend to get into this existential crisis, and that's fair enough. It is like, especially when you like thinking about, okay, this is your profession, you live off this, you live off being a photographer. And I can very well see that some of the stuff that is going out on production right now might go away. Like, But then you also have to ask yourself sometimes, is it really necessary to fly like a crew of 50 people to South Africa to shoot a guy looking at a sunset? Like these, and it opens a lot of big questions, and I think these questions are important to be asked. Things are going to change, and they are. It's unstoppable. AI is coming, and it's here already, and it's like creation with AI is coming, and it's gonna get bigger and bigger, and less abstract than it is right now. Like, and there's so many opportunities in this. Like being a creator myself, like I think for the process of developing stories or developing ideas and bringing them to life, it's a huge step to actually having an idea in your head and then visualizing it, like imagining, like as Ed described it perfectly, like you're the author and now like you have the story in your head and you just put it onto paper and everybody is able to read it. But right now you're able to have this idea in your head and you're able to write it, and you can even get assistance with the writing and learn from everything that is out there, which is totally fine. Like everyone can do this also without AI. You can learn from everything. It's just a bit of a jump start. And then it goes on with like creating imagery and creating images. And like what happens, for example, a lot in the commercial world is we use a lot of moods and references that we take from other movies. And people tend to go like, okay, I want this scene or this film to look like this film. And so it is always sort of a copy of a copy of a copy. And what we can do right now is actually like come up with own ideas and try to prompt them and see what comes out. And by that, start developing an own language, even though that sounds absurd, because it's like also the AI is trained on so many images and all of that. But it's like just that the data set is just so big that you're actually able to create something unique. And that is truly amazing. Like, I think it's going to help a lot of people also from other backgrounds, people who cannot go to expensive film schools, people who don't have not even like the school background, but don't have like the family background to be able to choose a career like this. I think AI will enable a lot of people out there to create something unique on their own by themselves, basically with themselves on a computer, or even in the future, sometimes with your phone or something like that. And I think this is crazy. It's gonna change everything so much. And I think it's exciting. Yeah.
Exactly. It's so exciting, but it's because I don't know the dynamics of these industries that much. But you, as well as Ed, mentioned this possibility, right? So the barrier to entry has lowered so much, right? Everything, as you said, is a prompt away, as I like to refer to things. But how? So even the possibility is there, and all these tools give the access. But what about the industry? Will it accept these kind of entries? Is the industry as well moving in a direction where they would look more at the, let's call them indie filmmakers, for lack of a better word, or people that take all the process in their own hands and they start to build all of these things that normally, as you mentioned, requires so many millions and so many people? So the technology is advancing and empowering them, but what about the industry and all the big players, so to call them, and how the market is working right now? Ed, would love to get your thoughts.
I think that the industry is just starting to move beyond deepfake and VFX as the two big areas. I think those two already are quite well understood this year as big advances unlocked by AI. So actors who might be dead, brought back to life, or public figures who might be dead brought back to life, or actors like Tom Hanks in Robert Zemeckis' upcoming Here being de-aged and post-aged, so using AI instead of using makeup. And on the other side, using AI for certain visual effects shots. I think what they're not, that there isn't as much focus on yet is the idea of an AI film. And I think that's the same in the games industry. And we see that with the simulation, that it's only just now getting to the point where someone would really think about an AI film rather than just AI as one of many departments in the creation of a movie. What I'm advocating, and we're advocating, is that there's a new medium of AI movies. It's as different as talkies were from silent films, and it is totally transformative. Everything can be done with AI. Everything you see, everything you hear, everyone on the screen. This is a completely different thing to, ILM will be able to give you a visual effects shot for 80% cheaper. That's fine, but the more exciting thing is the possibility of an entirely new medium of AI films and AI games.
Cool. That's amazing and great to hear. Mario, where do you feel the industry is going? Is it blooming or crashing?
Well, the industry is definitely going to change, and it depends on what industry we're talking about. Like, there's some of those who are like just like I don't know, for the lack of a better word, sleeping still, and like putting it off as like a gimmick, or okay, this is like just something kids play around with, or just people play around with, and it's just about animation basically. But it's not like it's going into every aspect of filmmaking, and we're gonna experience it becoming slowly or rapidly, actually, because tech is moving on so fast, taking over departments bit by bit basically. And what's doable already right now is like voice acting, for example. Like what 11 Labs, for example, does is mind-blowing. It's it sounds so good, and it's like something people like remembering doing commercials, for example. Like ad agencies always wanted it. I had the feeling they wanted to play with a voice, or with a voice artist, as if it was a synthesizer. Like, okay, put a little a little bit more fun in there, a little sadness. Let's make this word a little sexy. They were like talking about voices as if they were synthesizers, and I think they can do this now, and this is gonna happen fast. And so I guess bit by bit, these little branches will be changing until the whole tree has been taken over. I think it's, as I said before, I think it's unstoppable, and things are eventually going to change. I'm curious to see, like, I think it's not gonna go away. Like, art house movies will never be gone. It will never go away to stand on the set and have like two actors play a scene with an intimate scene with each other. Like, but there's gonna be more new ways to do that, and AI is one of those ways to go on about it. And I also agree with what Ed is saying, that there might be just another genre, or another world of experiences coming up through AI movies, and I'm super curious to see how that looks like. I have no idea, to be honest.
Well, I can tell you, it's gonna
and-
be White Mirror
Yeah.
being featured everywhere, and
Yeah.
that's gonna be where we start to change the game completely, and then everyone's gonna be okay. We need to get in on this because we're lagging behind terribly. Yeah, no, but thank you
No,
so much.
that's what it's about. Absolutely, that's
Exactly.
what a White Mirror is all about. You know, it's like about trusting the process, about exploring, about seeing where the limits are, where are the boundaries of AI storytelling, and this is a first big step, I think. But we're gonna see so much more, and we're gonna see so many beautiful experiences throughout this first season of White Mirror.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be amazing.
Yes, exactly. And we already started to introduce it a little bit, but I just wanted to say, it's time to dive into the. How do you say, there is an expression, but I'm sure I'm gonna get it wrong. The bread of the topic, or like there was some English expression. You get what I mean. The meat of it. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
meat.
Thank you. I was in London for some years, but that didn't stick at all. But yes, White Mirror, which, as we said, the first AI feature film pushing the boundaries of creativity, pushing the boundaries of technology. It's going to be a community project, as I like to call it. It's going to be incredible creators that are going to work on certain public IP stories that they're going to bring to life, leveraging as much as possible the myriad of AI tools that is out there. And I would say the rules, if there are any, is be as creative as possible, make AI your friend as much as possible, and just play around with the boundaries, exactly like Mario said. And it's going to be, me personally, I can't even imagine what it's going to be, because like I mentioned before, the trailer also sparks this emotion inside of me that I didn't think was possible. And simply to even know, knowing how it came to life, and the fact that it was this beautiful match between the technology, but also the brilliant brains that actually made that happen, made it even more powerful. So it's kind of this knowledge is really power, and even contributes to the emotion. But enough from my side. I want to hear, Ed, how since you've been working with Chapter on this from the very beginning, what would you say attracted you to the project, and what does White Mirror want to accomplish?
Well, my hope is that we can, as one of the first AI feature films, we can bring together a lot of the people who, in the last 6 to 9 months, there have been some pretty amazing experiments before that, sometimes using GPT, for example, experiments around real actors and directors making a movie that was written by GPT. But I think this new form of an AI movie is quite recent. And my hope is that it showcases this moment in time, showcases these brilliant creators, and also, when you're sitting in the cinema watching it, tells a good story, and emotionally is able to move you. That's my objectives.
Yeah, no, that's emotionally being able to move you, is what I feel is also the point that
Exactly.
we need to prove to people that this is still storytelling, right? What we were saying in the beginning. It's all about what you feel and how you connect with it, and to be able to also appreciate that this piece of technology was empowered the person to produce emotion. I think this is actually how it should be phrased, rather than, you know, the tech creates emotions. We all know that's not possible. We have Mario here that worked as well on the trailer, and he can tell us actually exactly how the trailer came to life, and how was your experience actually doing that?
Everything you see is real.
It was... I don't know how to describe it.
Some say it's magic.
Tales and stories as old as time told again and again.
Imagination is a strange thing. It's limitless. It allows you to travel worlds.
I miss you. I have those dreams.
Suddenly everything could be anything else.
Can you be my friend?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Every little thought just became an adventure.
It's real. It's real if you can dream it.
It was fun. It was like a complete new experience for me, like doing it this kind of way. Because I'm also used, like, as I said, I'm a filmmaker, director. I'm used to having maybe an idea and then getting other people on board, and then we have a lot of people, like a great teamwork that needs to create something together. And now with this, it was just like a two people team, like me and a friend, a dear friend that I worked with many times before, who is kind of he likes to nerd into these things, and he's a great collaborator, Andreas Hofstetter, that's his name. And like it was a lot of like trying stuff out and figuring stuff out, because it's, as of right now, it's like, it is sometimes tricky, and it's a bit, you have to like try. It's a lot of trial and error, and you'll see what works and what doesn't work. So you have to put in the time and try different kind of tools. There's so many tools right now out there, and a lot of that is free. So that was great for us, because we could go into all of these different tools, starting with like Midjourney prompting. That's something I knew fairly well, and then trying different kind of notebooks, that's what they're called, to animate these images, because that's the challenge right now, to animate stills. But that's, like what people sometimes get wrong about films and about storytelling is the visual doesn't have to be perfect. If the story is right, if the story is well written, and if the core of the story is good and emotional, then even the imagery can be flawed. It doesn't matter. If the story works, and maybe also the sound level works, and the music catches you and all of this, then you're sold already. Like you can have like a grainy black and white destructed film, and if the story works, it doesn't matter. And so there is nothing that's wrong, because a lot of that stuff is like I wouldn't say flawed. It has its own aesthetic, because of the way you treat it, because of the images you put in there, because of ways you animate images. It has its own kind of vibe and own aesthetic, but you can make use of this, and people accept it for what it is. And I think this is totally also what partly what Ed is describing, that we're going to see a genre of AI movies that are going to have their own aesthetic, and people are going to love it because of that. And we're going to see this and wave coming over to other genres as well. I'm pretty sure you can see it already. Like a lot of music videos are taking on the aesthetic, because it's also like right now it's sort of quote cheap. Like people can do this on their own, prompt stuff and animate it. but we're going to see this coming into feature films and into commercials and all of that, because people will identify this aesthetic right now as the aesthetic of this day and age, and AI is going to change this. I think people are gonna, when it comes to photographs, I was thinking about this like last night. I was going through Instagram and I was wondering, because I saw a photograph and I thought it was AI because there was something about it that looked like Midjourney. And I was like looking at the caption and seeing it doesn't seem to be AI. It's probably not a Midjourney picture. It is a photograph that has been retouched, and somehow, maybe not even on purpose, but it looked like that aesthetic people we are seeing right now so often on Midjourney, and it slides into the subconscious of people, and that's how culture is being created. And I think this is what's happening right now. Like subconsciously, people are wanting that aesthetic, and that's kind of crazy.
It's so, and I know what's really funny is I know exactly what you're talking about. I couldn't describe the exact aesthetic that you mean because I don't have the vocabulary, but I have it in my head. It's already, it became so familiar playing around with all the stuff. And also, need to say that Mario is an excellent prompter as well. He saved me a lot of hours of work as I was trying to play around with Midjourney. But yeah, no, that's so true. And I love the comment on the cultural shift, and this is a new beginning that we're going to have. And also regarding the flaws and all of these things that make an experience, a world, a story unique. I really hope that it's always going to be like this, because that's where the beauty lies. Perfection doesn't exist, and I think that even if we do see it, we wouldn't like it. So I doubt that the technology would go in this direction of simulating perfection or trying to imagine what perfection would be like, because that is just that will not become part of the culture. So people don't want it. That's why people still shoot on 16 millimeter film, because one wants the flaws and one wants a certain aesthetic, and it's just the same thing. It's just not like grainy and has the same like curve as a Kodak stock has, but this has its own look. It will feel different, and in someday people will say, maybe make it look like, I don't know, this could be more like a Midjourney kind of look, or a Dali kind of look. The new Instagram filter is gonna be Midjourney feel, Midjourney vibes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's see. Thank you. My question now, which is around White Mirror, of course, as well. We mentioned that there's going to be creators, but I'd love to hear more about some of the creators that we're going to have, and if you could also tell us a little bit about their background and what got them excited in the project as well, because I think that's an important one, and I know you've been in touch with a lot of people, and the interest is really overwhelming, of course. And Ed, you brought on board some top-notch creatives. Yeah. Tell us a bit about them.
Yeah, we can't announce everyone yet, but having people on board like Paul Trio, and someone who's been at the leading edge of AI filmmaking, and Tom Clive and others. I think we're going to see the variety and the range, and also the ambition of these creators who are experts in these new technologies. And it's a pretty new set of technologies, and my hope is that we end up being able in some way to honor everyone who's played a role in it. So I'm super excited to see what they create.
You mentioned that they're already experts in something that is so new. Do you have some examples of how they have used the technology in the past in their creative process and where they're coming from?
Yeah. So, I think Tom's done amazing work around animation, around bringing images to life at 24 frames a second and kind of telling a story. And I think a lot of the focus initially for everyone was on pictures, but I think Tom from the start has focused on animation, which isn't so easy to do at this stage. And then Paul has done amazing work with Runway's Gen 1, which allows you to take any footage and imagine what you want. So you might have footage of underwater plants, and then it will turn that into a forest, or it'll turn it into the desert with the same shapes and the same visual structure. So I think we've got something, really, really cool to show in White Mirror.
Yeah. Paul is really pushing the envelope. What's possible to do, and he's like such an amazing guy, and also such a bright and brilliant and amazing spirit. But there's also like people that are not experts yet in AI movies that are also like super exciting because they might be experts in a different field. For example, like we have one really amazing creator, Tino Schadler, who is just an incredible production designer, basically living in California. And this guy doesn't have to do it, like he's been designing for movies like V for Vendetta, or he's been working on 2 Harry Potter movies, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So this is a guy who could easily say, like that doesn't interest me, or I don't care. I've got my career. But he is like he gets it, It's about these, and you see this, like this is about the creators who are open to a new world of audiovisual experiences, and this is the day and age where this big shift and change happens, and he and his team, they're gonna dive deep into AI movies and create something spectacular. I'm so positive about this, and they're gonna bring a new perspective, also because sometimes sometimes the most amazing creativity is being created because there's like a lack of technical understanding sometimes, if there's like something, a part missing, you have to imagine the workarounds, and you have to come up with brilliant ideas and amazing stories. And that's where I'm like coming in a circle, like the stories and the ideas are always the most important thing, and then you will make the AI work. Whatever your like capabilities are, you're gonna make it work. There's no other way around these, because these people are like top level creatives, really like top of the game. And this is so exciting, like to see this. It's gonna be a thing of beauty.
Absolutely. And you know what the thing is, at least the way that I see it, this might be a bit challenging, but in my opinion, when you're a creator of any kind, you're by default curious. You cannot really, be creative if you deny all the new things that are happening that are gonna impact the field that you're working in, or your creativity itself. Like the moment that there's something new, you should be the first one that is like, okay, what's happening? I need to know. I want to see what can I do? How can this? Yeah. Because like you said, you have all of these gaps in a way in your process that a new technology comes in and fills them in. And that should be your, okay, fuck, I've been struggling with this for so long. Let me see how this is going to help me. So, it's whoever is not an expert yet, at least in the people that are in White Mirror, I know by the end of the season, they're going to be masterminds. And I am so excited.
Creative people are problem solvers. They need to solve problems. Like that's their thing. Like really creative people, they always are looking for the challenge, and they always want to try something they have never done before, because they get bored easily when they do things. Like they don't want to do the same thing again. They want new challenges in life. And I don't know, like there's this theory of Freud that creativity comes from like a lack of unresolved trauma in life. and there's a true sense in that, I guess. Like creative people, really good creative people, are always like solution people, and we're gonna see a lot of this, because right now it's a challenge to make an AI movie, but we have the right kind of people to make it work.
Exactly, the right kind of people, the right kind of technology, and the people leading the project. So I have only good feelings about this. And now we are finally at the final section of the episode, which is hot seat statements. And I've been it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun because I'm sure you have strong opinions on each. So I will have a statement for each of you, and would love to hear your thoughts on it. I've been browsing, so to say, a little bit around the controversies in that people pose with AI, and I found a couple that are interesting, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And Ed, this one is for you, which I found from someone that was talking about the very bleak future that AI is going to bring to movie making and cinema. And what it said is, the cinema's artistry lies in its ability to paint a realistic picture of what the human experience is. Developing AI technologies that would generate a film is troubling in the sense that the essence of cinema may be truly lost in the shuffle. What do you think about this destruction of the cinematic spirit and art?
Well, I think the person is correct when it comes to an AI writing a screenplay for a film. I think that we aren't experimenting with that. It's all about a visionary writer director. So I would agree with them on that. The only caveat I'd have is just to point to the AI Seinfeld, which blew up on Twitch a few weeks ago, which was 24/7 of your favorite show. Essentially, I mean, it's not quite as good, obviously, as Seinfeld, but I think there's something very interesting there around personalized entertainment that I could see a new episode of Frasier or of Star Trek, or whatever somebody's favorite kind of, especially formulaic and repetitive television is. I think that's kind of interesting, and I don't see why that's worse than scrolling through TikTok or rewatching, old episodes of things we've already seen. It seems a little better than that. So even if an AI is writing, I think everything needs to be compared to the current reality, and how it's better or worse than the current reality, rather than, a kind of an imaginary world where we're all reading Nietzsche and just in love with the high intellectual life. That's not how people actually live on a day-to-day basis. We need to relax as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, that was beautiful. And Mario, now on to you with your hot take of the episode, which is, movie making will no longer be innovative, as AI will be used by companies to minimize risk and deliver content that people already know and like.
Well, there's a true part of this. Definitely, like there's we're gonna see a lot of productions that are like the safe bet. But I think because of that, there will be just a way higher demand also for really creative stuff and really for artistry, and what we're seeing right now, and like with the possibilities of Web3 and people coming together, from all around the world, like connecting, is that there's going to be soil for the most creative stuff to emerge. Art house movies with big budgets like we've never seen before. I think this is what's going to happen also, because there's going to be like a big market for this super hardcore mainstream stuff that everyone wants to watch, or like everything could, like a lot of stuff can be individualized and like customized onto your preferences. There's going to be a huge longing for writer directors creating their ideas, being super creative and developing stuff that's just super out there. I'm absolutely sure that we're also going to see this. So I think the statement itself is wrong. It is right in the sense that, yes, people are going to go the safe way, but not completely. It's just like not the whole truth.
Not the whole truth, exactly. Yeah. Thank you. They were both similar in the sense that they are the one side of a coin, right? Yeah. And it's the side that some people choose to focus on right now, but through the project that we're doing now and the future of White Mirror, I'm sure we're gonna prove them otherwise.
Absolutely.
And yeah, thank you so much. This was awesome, and I hope we're gonna be able to have another episode, maybe in the middle of the White Mirror.
I'd love that
kickoff, and have a little bit of let's see how things are going and what already some people have created. And for everyone listening, I really encourage you to join our White Mirror community. You can find the links in the podcast bio and all over our socials. Everything should be there. And you're going to get to learn things from Mario himself. You're going to get to see and experience all the things that we've been talking about here, which is really, really cool. And that was it for today. Hopefully you learned something, and we will see you in the next chapter.